Sentencing now. Oh yeah, mate. Oh yeah.
A real good laugh out of somebody for the first time.
Donkey shaking?
Donkey shaking.
This is up.
Oh, there's gotten up.
Yeah, there's like a tiny grill. Everything's tiny about this thing, but if the light's up towards you, then you're good to go.
Just like my penor.
Your penor?
It's tiny, very tiny.
It is.
It's tiny.
All right, we're here. We're doing it.
Is it recording?
It's going. We're going.
Are we framed all right? Are my legs getting in the way of your legs?
No, I don't even care. Nobody needs to see these hairy beasts. I think we're good. I kind of framed it. Let me look again.
I mean, it's usually zoomed out so far that we have plenty of room to crop.
Yeah, I'm keeping it at 1.5 and remove my fatness. Yeah. It should be good.
Alright. Yeah, this chair, dude, oh my god, I'm in love with this chair.
Yeah.
I had it up at my apartment in my...
Marry it?
Oh!
Might. Yes,
I mean, it's got some nice little comfy, spaces between the cushions.
More cushion for the pushing, I'll tell you.
Oh, brother, let me tell you what.
Oh, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
You went to a festival?
I might have gone to 2 since then.
2? Yes, that's right.
So I went to 3, but I think the first one was before I've lost track. But yeah, actually, no, I do have some, what happened there was some funny stuff that happened at the last festival. I was trading stories with these old guys.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I got food and looked around like where to sit down, there's like 6 or 7 picnic tables. I would like look at all the people, and it's like somehow I figured out that like old people are cool because they have more experience and they have like stories.
Yeah.
And they've like learned about life.
Uh-huh.
And it's like so like I always picked like most of the time I picked one of them, and one of them I really had a lot of good conversations with. I was telling them about my truck buying story, which I had never told a whole lot before of. It's like a great story. It's kind of long, but it's pretty funny. And what made him do what almost made him spit out his coffee. He's like, I would have spit out my coffee if I didn't have a cigarette in my mouth at the time. Was like, I was telling him,
stopper.
dude, that's probably my first spit take ever. So I'm a rising comedian. There's nothing better than that.
Hell yeah.
I guess I just spit out your drink, dude. It's so good. I was telling him, my ex-uncle Chuck down the road once told me...
Wait. Ex-uncle?
Yeah, he married my aunt, and then they divorced, so...
Oh, okay, so
yeah.
not of blood. I was like, wait, what happened to him?
He had a transfusion. He's got that, what is that stupid people that keeps the, 1% people young? Adrenochrome, whatever. Never mind. It's like babies, like blood or something.
Yes. Wait, what?
It's
Bathory Sainthood, that church lady that used to bathe in virgin's blood to keep herself young.
Yeah, there's all sorts of crazy shit like that. Like these like underground like cults and stuff.
People be cray.
Man, we got off track quick there.
It's fine.
I just lost my train of thought. What was it? So I told him the story.
Old man spit take.
Yes, thank you. Donkey shaking. And what did I say? Oh yeah, so my ex-uncle Chuck, I told him like he lives like way down the road in the backwoods. He's like a woodchuck, which I want to cover more like. Remember that was the original premise of the show, was like, are you a woodchuck? Or remember kind of like.
Oh yeah, it was like how backwoods are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
We definitely need to do some of that.
Yeah.
As part of our show, because that's what we know, kind of more than anything else.
Oh yeah, there's tears.
Because the Are You Garbage podcast is so good, but they know garbage, but we don't know garbage. We know backwoods. So it's
we know toothless rednecks.
Yes.
Moonshining.
Oh yeah.
There's like a whole West Virginia-esque culture that lives in the woods.
Yeah, because the whole Appalachian Mountain is a similar culture.
Yeah.
It goes basically from here to West Virginia.
Dental care is not a part of that culture.
What isn't?
Dental care.
Yeah. So, so I was like, so my ex-Uncle Chuck, who lives way back in the woods, kind of a woodchuck, he's like, cell service back there. He just lives alone, and he's like a really cool guy. He's good with music. He's good at. I really think we should meet him sometime.
Yeah.
I want.
You want to meet him too?
You would like him. He's such a character. But he's like. So anyway, he like knows like some old cool folk songs on guitar, stuff like that. And I was telling the guy I was talking to, I was like, so Chuck told me one time, he's like, I ain't never read a book in my life.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Does he know how to read? I would assume he would
Probably,
have to.
yeah, I think so.
That's wild.
I mean, it's cool. It's he's such a character. Like I love characters.
I feel like even for not liking reading, you would have at least had to have read a book.
I know, like in
to not be a
childhood.
reader.
Well, yeah. And it's like some things I just don't ask him about. He's like one of those kind of guys who just makes all these wild statements sometimes, or not really. It's hard to describe. He's just like very unique. So, but no, he's great with music. Like,
Alright.
he really rocks on the guitar, pretty good.
Nice.
You know, he's just a fun guy to hang. He's typical, like, stereotypical kind of musician where he like, kind of an alcoholic, kind of is good at playing music and loves it. And those things kind of go hand in hand somehow.
They do, yeah. I was on the sauce for a long time.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that because you were such a non-drinker.
Yeah, now
had your phase.
I got all sobered up.
Yeah, me too. I haven't had a drink. Well, I haven't drank like a month or something. And when I do, it's literally one.
Yeah.
Just because then it makes.
I've tried it on 2 separate occasions over the past 3 years. Both were Christmas parties, and I felt pretty dumb. Like I was more aware of myself getting to that state, if that makes sense. Like I could feel my speech slowing down a little bit. I could feel like the mind and the mouth not matching up, like more than normal.
How much did you drink? One?
Just one drink. Just one mixed drink. I think it was, I can't remember what it was. It had bourbon in it though. That's why I went for it. It
takes me like 5 or 6 drinks at least before my mind and mouth don't match up. Well, I guess maybe you felt a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't to the point where I was like slurring, but I was more, I guess, aware of it starting to happen, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, because for me, I was basically kind of an alcoholic for a while in college. I ended up going to a therapist for a little while because I was like failing school for a whole semester, and I was just, all I wanted to do every day was drink and play video games, and I had a great time doing that.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like I didn't notice the mind to mouth like discoordination as much. For me, it's just like it made me feel so good.
When I was drinking, absolutely, yeah. And I mean, in college is the place to do it. That's where mine started. I wasn't really into alcohol until I went to college, and then there's always somebody partying. And I had the same problem. I dropped out after 1 year because I was just like, I can't keep up anymore. There's always somebody that wants to party, and I don't have the will to say no.
Oh, I was always just drinking alone.
I mean, yeah, there's that too.
Because what I would do is I'd be like, okay, if I start drinking past 12 in the afternoon, then I'm not really like an alcoholic. I was like, I'm not that bad. And I wasn't that bad, really. I wouldn't have more than like 6, in a day, which is like, that's
over the course of an afternoon and an evening, that's not too bad.
No,
that's like one every 2 hours.
That's an enjoyable amount because my friend Oak in England, in England he drink like crazy. When he goes, like he just gets absolutely obliterated to the point it's like where it's not even enjoyable because like when you have like one or two or even three or four or five, depending on the person, it's like the enjoyment is maximized, and when you go over that, it's not enjoyable. You just get
you're beyond the precipice. You have to worry about spins and being coherent and getting to a safe place. Like,
I mean, he is though. Like, he's drank so much over so many years that when he does get absolutely obliterated, he's like, he can still talk like unreasonably fine.
That's scary, dude.
It is.
That's functioning addiction.
It really is. I heard that most people in England qualify as alcoholics, although most people don't think they are, because the pub life is such a regular part of everyday life.
Makes sense.
Of just going to I found out the other day, so pub is short for public house. And it's a place for the public to get together and, talk and have fun.
Nice. It's a rather wholesome take.
It is, because life is hard, and when you get together with friends and have a couple drinks and tell some stories, it makes everything better again.
Oh yeah.
For a little while. It's not like that in America. Bars are not like friendly meeting pubs for the most part.
Yeah, I don't know.
Although in North Carolina
it was so immersed in the bar culture.
Yeah.
Not really a pub culture. I guess it's similar with alcohol, but it's a different thing. And I used to go into bars when I was prepubescent because my father was drinking. He was taking care of me that weekend, so he also dated my stepmother. She later became my stepmother, but they were together for a few years before they got married, and she was a bartender. So, I mean, that kind of scene was unavoidable. And they knew everybody there because when you're a bartender, you know everybody. And
Yes.
then when you date the bartender, you know everybody.
Just gonna grab some sauce behind you real quick.
Yeah, do it up. Get them toastises, warmuses.
Yeah,
Do
I went to,
do I need to present my behind to you?
I mean, if you're offering,
Mm.
it's hard to turn down. But yeah, no, I went to, oh yeah, I was gonna say, like, so what I would do is I would go and I'd buy like either a 40 ounce, which was my favorite for a while or I'd just get like a 6-pack of some beers that I liked, and I would, I'd wait till afternoon so I wasn't an alcoholic. And I would bring them up to, dude, I was so excited. I would go up to I don't want to make it sound so awesome, because I have caused other people problems before with drugs and alcohol by like telling them how amazing they are. And I don't want to do that because it really is terrible. But I would go up to my apartment and I'd have like my sweet gaming PC, and I was playing Natural Selection 2 at the time, which is like everybody that played that, you had to have a headset. This was back before like everybody had headsets in gaming. But for this game you had to have it because communication was everything.
Yeah.
And I would just play that for hours, and I played it so much while drinking so much that like I guess I was pretty fun when I was drunk, and I was also good at the game, and I ended up meeting I would just recognize the voices of the people in the servers after playing every day for years, and I had like good friends. Like I'll never forget this one Indian guy, and, like every time we were just like best buds on the servers, even though there's like a list of servers and you're joining one, had like a small chance of somebody knowing it because there's so many. But somehow we would just run into each other all the time, and I still miss that guy. I want to start a website. I've been meaning to, called like I was coming up with some good names for the websites the other day, like lostgamers.com.
That's a good idea. I still remember a group of friends. I was in a clan on what was it? Half-Life.
Really?
Yeah.
I was too.
No, really?
Yeah, it was SBB, Sexy Bunnies Brigade.
Oh, okay.
And I just found out what a brigade is the other day.
It was mine was something with mud. All I remember was I think it was like a husband and wife duo that headed up the clan, and the female was Mama Mud, and the other one was Papa Mud.
I love it.
And they were such nice people, and like I never
Yeah.
would have met them if it wasn't for the game.
The only clan member I remember was named Box.
Hmm.
But it was a good time. Like, I remember I messaged, sometimes like on Steam, you'll see like people that you used to be friends with the members. It'll be like last online like 7 years ago. You know they're never going to be like back again. And I remember I sent them a message, and there's only a limited amount of characters you could send. So it was like, I used to be in your clan, please message me back. Like, that was it.
The old message in the bottle, toss it out to sea.
Yeah, he's probably not gonna
Wishful
see.
thinking.
But it's like, yeah, Lost, because like I've met so many good friends over the years in so many servers that I have such good memories of that I'd love to start like a lostgamers.com and try to like, because that must happen to everybody, because it sucks like
Oh yeah.
meeting these online friends that you're so tight with and then they're just gone and there's no way to contact them. It's really sad.
Yeah, you really got to be like proactive about like exchanging information in the game. But when
Yeah.
you're gaming, you don't really think about that
No.
stuff. You're just like, this will last forever.
Yeah.
We're buddies until the game stops being supported, or you know.
And there's a Buddhist concept I really like. Buddhism is probably I don't know if you call it a religion, but it's one of the things, I guess if you called it a religion, that I identified the most with. And one of their concepts that I really like, that I learned about over the last couple of years, is that everything in life you will lose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not healthy to like hold on to everything. And like, because I learned about that because they have like these they'll set up like a big table and do these beautiful sand drawings that takes them like days to do.
Like
Then when
the Zen gardens or whatever.
Yeah, but it's like all different colors as they're like dropping the sand on it and making all these cool designs.
Oh, I'm thinking of something different. I'm thinking of the little rakes.
Yeah.
But
And when they're
similar concept.
Yeah, and they create these beautiful works of art over like a course of hours or days, and when they're done, they just brush it off.
Yep.
Because that's the concept, is you're gonna lose everything, don't get attached.
Yeah, it's true.
It's kind of cool.
The only permanent is change.
Yeah, another quote.
Or constant. The only constant is change. Sorry.
No, you're right. Yeah, one of my friend back on AOL Instant Messenger back in the day, my friend Billy, who
AIM, oh my goodness.
Dude.
You just, once I heard AOL Instant Messenger, I just got flashbacks.
That was such a good messenger. It was like a friendly
It was.
interface.
It's so crazy. It's weird too. Like, we were teenagers, and I remember the most common thing that popped up was ASL. you can't do that.
That was the because there was all these guys looking for girls basically. I don't know if that's it is a good introduction even if you're not thinking sexually, because like you get such a good idea of a person in such a small amount of information.
Yeah.
That way. Although people get uncomfortable about sharing their information, and rightly so, online. But if you're not too worried about it and it's fine, then like that is a great way to introduce. To get an idea of what someone's like in a small amount of information. And I had something else there. Oh yeah, back then in high school when I used AIM, my opinion of myself was so low at the time that I chose my username as loser something or other.
Wow.
And then I remember talking to like Jabari one time online or someone. And he's like, you really are a loser. I was like, oh my.
He said that? Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
But, my friend Billy, I forget how I started talking about him. But he, why was I talking about him? He blew off, he was like so insane at guitar from a young age. Like 16, 15, he could like shred.
Oh, actually, the younger you learn, the better off you are, because you have more time to capitalize on it.
And dude, he was so fucking dumb because he was making homemade explosives
Missing fingers.
Came to school one day, and his fretting hand lost the tips of all of his fingers. It was so sexy. He's such a good guitarist.
He could have still been a good guitarist. Well, maybe.
I'm sure if he tried, he could have been.
The guitarist from Black Sabbath had the same thing. He was literally quitting his job. He was the last day of his job as I think he was a smelter. Like, he forged metal things. And he never operated this one machine. And, of course, his last day, the boss told him the other guy called out so he'd be in charge of it. And same thing, he lost 2 or 3 tips of his fingers, and he actually has a artificial one. And that's why he played mainly power chords, because he was, I think it was his index that didn't have the
your knuckles go back far.
Huh?
Your last joint bends back pretty good.
Yeah, my fingers are weird.
More than, wow, that's crazy. Mine is like straight as the most it can go. Actually, the pointer goes back a little bit. Remember back in school, like all the tricks, like, oh, can you bring your thumb down to your wrist? Like,
yeah.
And like all these other, like, are you double jointed? It was like all these fun things.
I wasn't until I had an injury in elementary school. We were playing football. No, it wasn't football. It was like, it was some game that we made up. Like, someone would be the thrower. They would throw. It was a Nerf ball, and they would yell out a number. I think it was like called 500.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with it.
I played that a few times.
So I went to catch it, and somebody ran at me at the same time, and I fell down, and for a split second I dislocated my thumb, so now I can
nice.
do that.
You can pop and lock.
Yeah.
Dude, one
Double
time,
jointed, I guess.
when I was in grade school, in England, you know, if we were proper lads, what do we call it, grammar school?
Grammar school.
They call it primary, or elementary school.
Primary.
They call it primary. And in high school, they call secondary, I think.
Mm.
And in Canada, instead of like 7th grade, it's grade 7.
Oh, grade 7, yeah.
I'm becoming
the
very...
European influence. There's a lot of French up there. So
there is, yeah.
like,
they're a little more European.
You know, day before month with the date for Europeans.
Right, which, I mean, makes sense in a way.
As a ratio, it makes sense.
Well, because it's in order.
Yeah, it is.
But the thing, I think the reason that we do it our way is because when you're not considering the year, normally you know what year it is and you're planning for the same year. Just like April 3rd or April 1st. Like, that makes sense that way.
Yeah.
But it's when you add the year at the end that it gets...
We don't plan that far ahead here in America.
Here in America. Living day by day. But, oh yeah, dude, so in grade school, tetherball used to be one of my favorite things to play.
It's a good game.
I played all the time. I loved it. And one day, Skylar Thomas played against me, that fucking freak athlete. He was good at everything.
Good at everything.
Dude, I had a whole other thing about him, because, like, he would be like, he would say how he wasn't good at anything. I hated him so much. At certain points, not all the time. Like, I thought he was, like, cool and, like, overall liked him. But sometimes he would really make me mad. Because, like, I remember one day, I forget how old I was, like, just learning how to skateboard back in the Chester skate park when it was, like, so sick. It had that double ramp with the spine and the rollover.
Yep.
That's still my favorite ramp of all time.
I remember watching him go ham on those.
Dude.
And, like, yeah, he was definitely...
That ramp was so
He probably wanted to say he was being humble, but there's no way you don't know you're good.
That's what pissed me off. Because he would just slay shit. He'd be like, oh, I'm not that good. Like, fuck you, Skylar. I hate you so. He did the same thing with school. He's like, I didn't study. I don't pay attention. He's like getting straight A's. I'm like, I hate you so much. Like, but no.
To be fair, the curriculum was kind of very forgiving.
He might have been so smart that it was true, but like, he was still like, oh, you know. you know, that humbleness like really pissed me off because like,
Yeah.
dude, just admit it. Like you're good at shit. Just say it.
Yeah.
Like stop.
I get it.
It's so fucking annoying when you act
I get
like
it.
that.
I get
But
it.
anyway, no.
You're still angry about it.
Dude,
to this day,
I mean,
20
really-
years later.
I mean, I'm not really anymore. Like, I'm working on letting stuff go. But so one day, no, he was good at everything he did. Athletics.
No, he was for sure.
Literally everything. But so
And there was a couple times where I was like, yeah, okay, buddy, you're not good, right? Yep.
one day at the skate park when I was like just learning to skate. I don't know what grade it must have been, like I always say fucking seventh grade. I don't know what grade I was in, but early on in my skateboarding career, and I was like, you know, riding the ramps a little bit, learning how to. I could ollie. I could you know 50-50 drop in.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty much it. You know, I was freakishly good at nose manuals, like without ever practicing them somehow. Which you were there that one time. Me and
Yeah.
Nick Holder that one day.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. But so I was like practicing kick flips one day at the skate park when I was at that age, like just learning stuff. Because I had learned them, I practiced them on carpet because it's much easier to learn that way. And I was getting them down on carpet, and I actually had heel flips down better. I learned them easier, which most people it's harder.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had heel flips down on carpet, and I had kick flips pretty down on carpet. And so I was trying to like get them on pavement at the skate park. And Skylar saw me trying them. I had tried like, I don't know, 10 or 20. He's like, oh, what are you trying to do, kickflip? He's like, do, like 3 kickflips in a row. I'm like, I hate you so much.
Yeah.
But-
Don't be humble and then show off. But yeah, I as a birthday present to myself, because it is coming up this month, I ordered a brand new setup.
Hell yeah.
And I'm going to get into skateboarding
Dude.
again, because I need to do something that's going to get rid of my gut.
Dude, I've been going through the same thing. So I got my new setup, and I was having fun at the Ludlow Park. And like the thing is, like, I also need to strengthen my legs because when they're strong, like my knee and ankle don't hurt. And I could do like regular at-home exercises, but they're so boring, like hard to make myself do them. But when it's actually fun,
Yeah, exactly.
then it's so easy
right.
to get strong that way.
If I just am sitting on like a stationary bike, I'm gonna get pissed off.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be like, this is boring. I'm not doing this anymore.
But
I'm out pushing wood, you know,
yeah.
learning some tricks, building some core strength.
The thing is, though, at this age, it's like getting hurt is so scary now.
Oh, absolutely. I took a digger when I was like 29, 30, and that's kind of when I put it down for a while because it was literally the stupidest thing. It was a crack in the pavement that I didn't see. I was looking behind me for some reason, so my weight was kind of a little too far forward because I was kind of doing this. I hit a crack and landed on my forearm, but it jutted my shoulder into my neck.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, it felt like I broke my collarbone or something.
Or
For
broke
like
something.
4 or 5 days, it was unbelievably sore. And I'm like, I'm done. That was the stupidest thing ever. I'm done.
And the thing that sucks is like, if there's nothing that makes me happier skateboarding than like a perfect mini ramp, like kind of like the one that was in Chester.
Yeah.
And
nice.
there's none around anymore. There's no perfect mini ramps anywhere around here. Because I think if you had like a perfect mini ramp where it's like there's like no vert, it goes up to maybe 45 degrees, maybe 3 or 4 feet tall. It's just
Ideal.
it's so easy to skate those, and if you have like full pads on, like you're not real. It'd be pretty hard to get hurt
Right.
doing that.
Yeah.
That'd be like ideal. And it pains me because like Chester had that best mini ramp ever. That was like somewhere between a mini and a small size ramp. And then Ludlow had my favorite, that was like tied for my favorite ramp of all time when they had that steel one, the smaller one.
I didn't skate Ludlow too much. I don't remember the steel one.
It was similar to the Chester one in terms of like the size and shape, but it didn't have like a double spine, it was just one.
Okay.
And because it was sheet metal, it took like 0 effort to pump up and down between the copings. it was so easy to keep speed, which made it so enjoyable for me. And I loved that ramp, and now that they tore it all down and made a new concrete park, it makes me sad because, I mean, the new park setup is pretty sweet. It's kind of small, but it's a nice setup. But like, they don't have any, like, the only mini ramp half pipe they have is part of like it's got a mini ramp. Have you seen it yet? It's got it's a concrete bowl, like a full size bowl, like
in Ludlow. You're
yeah.
talking right now. Okay, it has a bowl.
Yeah,
that's smart. I feel like if you're in New England, you need to have a concrete park because everything else is just going to rot out.
Well, the concrete parks are the best. They always have been, but they were always like a West Coast thing because they were ahead of us all the time. And we had to grow up on these like.
West Lebanon has a good one now.
Oh, dude, I was skating there for the last like 7 years or so.
Yeah.
But because when I went to school up there, I was like an hour away from it, and like every day when I got out, I went to after I got my engineering degree, I got a computer science degree up at Vermont Tech, and that was a 2-year program. This was like 7 years ago, and I was so excited after my classes were over to drive down there and skate. And they have this one kind of like mini ramp. It's not really meant to be a mini ramp, but they have this whole flow set up of different quarter pipes all around, and they're all connected with flat ground in between, so you can really flow around the park, which is really awesome. It is a sick park. It is definitely the best park around, I think.
I haven't hit it since it went all concrete.
Yeah, and so they had this one part where it's like it wasn't really meant to be a half pipe, but there was 2 quarter pipes facing each other as part of the overall integrated build.
Yeah.
And what made it tricky was one side was taller than the other, and the other side was steeper than the other. So one side was like short and steep. It was maybe like 3 or 4 feet, and it like almost had vert at the top. And then the other side was like 5 feet tall. It was like a foot taller on the other side, but it was like rounder and nicer. So even though it was like awkwardly shaped, I actually got really good at it. Back then when I worked at Louie Louie, my restaurant shop, this is before.
Wait, you worked at Louie Louie's? Where was I?
For years.
I used to work in West Lebanon for 4 years at Hannaford's, and I used to go to the skate park.
This was like 9 years ago. For 2 years I worked at Louie Louie.
We just missed each other in the West Leb days.
Oh my god, at Louie Louie, it was, first of all, the hours that they set for the dishwashers will say like, you get out at 7 or 8 p.m. or whatever. But then they're like, you're not allowed to leave till all the dishes are done. You'd be there till like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And that doesn't seem legal to me.
Same thing happened to me at Kohl's up in South Burlington. I should have known that they were desperate because I had never worked in a department store before in my life. And I was there for 2 months, and they made me home supervisor, so supervisor of the home department. And I thought it was just because I had a good work ethic, but no, it was slavery.
Same, yeah.
They ended up, twisting my arm to the point where they're like threatened my position if I didn't start doing overnights during the winter.
What?
And I was like, I've been working like 2 jobs. I said I work healthy living before I came here, and I was working here like, I was working over there at 6 o'clock in the morning, coming over here for like 11, and then staying until like 6 or 7, and then they made me the home supervisor, and I was still on that morning schedule, and then they wanted to move me to overnight. So what a mind fuck that was.
Yeah, they just abuse people and they can get away with it. And it's like, I think it still might be like that at Louie Louie. We need to like liberate them, dude. Like, in my ankle that I rolled skateboarding, like, I forget, it's like 15 years ago or something, I lost track of time. But it recovered pretty well, and I never really had a problem with it until I started working at Louie Louie, and they make us like, first of all, I wasn't getting enough sleep. I would be like, get home at 2 or 3 a.m., and at that point, I couldn't sleep for the night. So like in 3 hours, my natural body was waking up. And so I'd basically get 0 rest, and have to go do it again. And there was so many hours of just standing and doing dishes that like
that's terrible.
It re-fucked my ankle.
And like I'm sure on like either concrete or hard tile.
Yes, it was. And if it hadn't been for that job, I think my ankle might not have been as bad as it is now. Which, it's like I've learned that if I can slowly recover it if I'm careful, and just do progressively more with it every day, as long as it's not hurting,
Yeah.
it can get stronger. Because with arthritis, they say that the more movement you get in the joint, the better the arthritis gets.
Facts. Mine hurts less. Did I tell you I broke it when I was 27? Skateboarding when I was 27. Ludlow Park. You know how they had, like, towards the entrance, they had, I want to say it was like maybe 9 feet tall, a quarter pipe. Well, I was not warmed up, and I went to do a simple rock to fakie on the quarter, and I
On a 9 foot?
Yeah. I got hung up with my front truck. I brought it down too quick, and I fell straight back to flat on my right ankle, and I had a buckle fracture in my tibia.
Bro.
It went straight up there. Yeah.
I didn't know you were that hardcore at skating, dude. The most I'd ever do on the 9 foot is drop in. Holy shit, dude.
Well, I mean, it's similar concept. For some reason, I feel more comfortable doing a rock to fakie, because you're already, like, you've gone up the transition, you have a feel for it, and, like, you're actually halfway still on the ramp. So I don't know if it's just my mindset, but to me it's easier than actually dropping in.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I mean, dropping in feels scarier.
Oh yeah, definitely. But anyhow, that happened, and I went on short-term disability for Hannaford's, I think. I was at Hannaford's OS Lab when it happened. I went on short-term disability, and everybody was like, "Can you get a wheelchair?" And they wanted me to come back or whatever.
Wow.
Really fast, and I was like, I kind of want to come back. And I was like walking on the cast the last 2 weeks, and good old Springfield Hospital cut it off, and the doctor looked at me and said, "Well, if you have arthritis later in life, you can blame this injury. Looks like we should have set this with pins and screws." And I'm like,
"Oh, thanks.
Are you admitting to malpractice right now? Like, what the hell just happened?" And yeah, it was not good times.
I really have. Man, I get so upset at doctors sometimes too. But,
yeah, you really have to be your own advocate.
There's good ones and bad ones.
Yeah, and it's not good to do like self-diagnosis, just Google symptoms or whatever.
No.
But it's a good idea to get educated, have an idea,
for sure,
and then talk to a professional.
Yeah, learn about physiology, watch some YouTube videos about people who've had the same injuries and how they recovered.
Yeah.
Like, I have a torn rotator cuff right now that's really it hurts right now. It's been hurting all the time for maybe like 6 months now. And I just found this thing where if I find something above me that I can hold on to and hang my arm off of it without my body weight, it takes away like all the pain.
I wonder if you have impingement.
I do.
Yeah. I don't know how you would correct that without surgery.
I was watching videos online, and impingement can be fixed just through, like, physical therapy and stretching and stuff, because it's like what happens is once it gets torn,
this is becoming an educational podcast.
I know, we need to get to some fun. It's good though, because people have problems.
Yeah.
Rotator cuffs is one of the most common injuries in the world.
Yeah, my dad ended up with a frozen shoulder. He was a carpenter, and banging that hammer, he had like hammer grip and a frozen shoulder, and towards the end of his life he like couldn't lift his arm more than that.
Well, what happened?
This is normal.
Yeah.
He couldn't do beyond that.
Yeah, I can move mine everywhere, it just hurts in some places. But so yeah, with the impingement, what happens is with the rotator cuff, you get so used to like not using your arm for certain things that there's this bone. I saw a video on it. I'm going to butcher this because my memory's a little bit vague. But like your bone structure actually changes because when you're not using your arm for as many things, this bone up here, like your collarbone, I think, starts to like sink down.
Ooh.
Because you're not, like, if you hang off something, it pushes it up.
Oh, that makes sense.
And so if you do that, you can eventually over time correct the impingement. So yeah, no, because I've got my mini sauna out there I got from Amazon that, like, when I wake up in the colder seasons especially, and I just feel like when I wake up that I don't want to do anything and I just don't feel good
Cold weather is
mentally.
bitch.
But if I jump in the sauna and I get all steamed and warmed up, I feel great, and then I like start the day feeling good.
Nice.
Yeah, and so I hung a bike lock across the 2 rafters in there, like one of those cables,
So
and so I can just hold out over my shoulder.
There you
Start
go.
and I should start the morning like that every day.
Yeah.
I need to get back into my habits. But what was I going to say about the skate park?
I don't know.
I think I lost it. Yeah, do you remember Jerry Tucker?
Yeah. Yeah, he like single-handedly took care of that skate park for a long time.
He was like the legend of the area when I skated there. People would be like, Jerry Tucker's gonna come here.
Yeah,
And
he
the
was
dude-
good, dude. He
Oh my
still
God.
is. He was last time I was there. He was teaching his kids how to skateboard, and he was just, he's definitely just a natural born ripper.
I've never seen. Oh yeah, I remember the other thing. I've never seen somebody carry so much speed around the park while like jumping on rails and grinding them and doing stuff. It's like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, where you're going around at like an unreasonable speed. Like that was him.
Yeah, dude, he was a ripper. He was a ripper for sure.
Oh. my
Andrew
God.
used to be really good. Mr. Kling and Peel of Black Cat Custom Tattoos.
I loved Spencer Ness's style in the mini pipe.
Oh yeah, what happened to him?
So he was like, he had all these secret garden tricks. He'd be like, secret garden. He'd do all these tricks like people didn't know. And it was
Secret guys. Such a Spencer thing.
so funny, dude. That kid was awesome.
Yeah, he was super chill.
And so what happened was he got so good at skating at like the local park that he built himself like a 6-foot, like pretty serious half pipe at his house, and was like getting real into it, like airing out and doing big stuff.
Gnarly.
And one day took like a big fall and got real fucked up. And that was, as far as I know, kind of his end of skateboarding.
Damn.
Yeah.
I didn't know about all that. You just kind of stopped showing up at parks, and I guess that makes sense now.
Dude, that's why I love mini ramps, dude. They're like so fun and like low risk. They're just so fun.
Definitely.
But,
when I get myself a homestead, if this market ever stabilizes, I feel like we're moving into the 2008 Jingle Mail again.
Jingle Mail?
Have you ever heard about that?
No, but I heard housing prices are going to crash soon.
They're going to have to.
Yeah.
So Jingle Mail this has already happened. The market just got out of hand with interest, tax, similar situation to now, and then it crashed. And so people financed these houses that were now worth half of what they financed. So they would literally just mail the keys back to these banks, and they're just walking away from all these properties because of how ridiculously priced they were, and now they were worth nothing. So that's where they get the term Jingle Mail, because you would hear the keys in the envelope. So yeah, I think that's coming around, because I mean it's absurd around. You can't find anything for like under 300,000, and that's like 1 acre with like 2 bedrooms is going for 300,000. You're like paying almost $500, $600 per square foot.
I've been watching since the COVID started, or around then. I found a number of YouTube channels of some really smart financial guys that really know what they're talking about. And, basically they're saying now that the housing prices are definitely going to crash soon.
They have to.
There's a correction coming, and the whole economy's correction's coming.
Yeah.
It's kind of. But what I was going to say about skateboarding that I wish I had known when I was younger is, like, if you watch the professionals skateboard, they learn how to fall without hurting themselves. And so before they hit any ramp or rail, or before every trick that they try, they already know how to either kick it out,
bail,
either how to bail, or if it gets as bad as falling, they know how to like roll and safely fall. So it's like if you don't know how to bail or safely fall out of what you're about to try, you really shouldn't be trying it, because you can pretty much stay much less injured than if you don't know that.
Yes. Maybe I should take up, what is that? What is it, jiu-jitsu or something? What's the one that...
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
I would love to do
You
it.
can learn how to, like, roll and tumble and play with your body.
I think I've done, like, the, like, diving roll before when I was younger.
I used to know how to do it, like, I still kind of do, but instinctively it's not there. Like, I know that you kind of want to go in this triangle, but on your back, so that, like, your shoulder, you have more, basically more meat is better to disperse the energy, and you have to kind of roll like that. I used to be able to do no-hand somersaults all the time. I would just run, and that's how I learned how to fall.
No-hand somersaults?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Like, or not somersault. Is that what they're called? The
What's a
ones where
somersault?
I think it's just like you're on the ground, you tuck and roll. But most people do it with their hands. I don't know. Gymnasts.
Oh, yeah.
Comments.
That sounds about right. In high school, I was never athletic, because I think the main reason was, well, I've never been that coordinated, first of all. I mean, I kind of was, actually. But, like, I was basically severely underweight. I was, like, 6 feet and, like, a little less than 100 pounds senior year.
Yeah, so, you've always been a string bean of a fella.
Dude, the last year and a half,
opposite.
I've been working on gaining weight.
Yeah.
And I'm finally up to like 168. I think I was like 170 a month or two ago, which is the most I've ever weighed. And I'm finally almost starting to look normal. But like, there's this amount.
That's so wild to me. I weigh 215 right now.
Yeah, that's not.
That's terrible.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
Okay. But yeah, so like, because I remember many years ago when I was a kid, seeing like, there's a point where when a man gains enough weight, he looks fully grown and healthy. And if they never gain that weight in their entire life, they always look kind of thin and sickly almost, or just not fully developed. And I remember seeing like that someone at their ideal weight and how good it looks to like have your face filled out and like your body filled out at like the optimum level. And I was like, oh man, I really want that. That looks really good. It looks like how people should be. And it's like, it feels sad to like go your whole life and never get to that point.
I've been on a roller coaster most of my life. There was a point, I've accepted that my frame doesn't allow me to ever be like thin appearing.
Right.
I think even when I was in college and like I wasn't eating because I couldn't afford to eat really, I was a size 34 waist. Like that's the smallest
but
I've ever
you've
been.
got...
And that was unhealthy thin for me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what happens, yeah, when the way you are growing up sticks with you. And so like if you didn't have enough food growing up, then you always are like trying to compensate for the rest of your life basically. Like just like my grandma lived through the sort of the repercussions of the Great Depression. And so for the whole rest of her life, she'd have like food hidden in like a drawer here or there.
Oh, wow.
And like it just, you know what?
I just like eating. That's my
I do too, but like my problem is like it's hard. Like if the food's really good, I can eat forever, but it's hard to find like a lot of really good food for me.
Wow, that's a problem I wish I had.
Like if someone's making like
I can chef it up too, so
Yeah.
it's a problem when you
Can you?
cook good and you can eat your own food whenever you want. Yeah, it's a problem.
I can cook good. I actually recently I've been cooking in here with an electric range, which has actually stressed me out like an unreasonable amount because I was used to...
Are you afraid of fires? Or?
No, and so I recently got a camping stove, which is like gas powered, that I've been using with the cooking here, and it's been making me feel so much better because like I would get so angry cooking at the electric range just because it takes so long to heat up.
Oh, yeah.
And the temperature changes take so long. It's like I was really good at cooking and I enjoyed it. But like that electric range made me so angry. Like it was still better than going upstairs and interacting with my parents to cook on their gas stove, which I did for a while when I moved in. But man, it's been only maybe a month that I've had that gas one. So I took it camping, and when I came home, I was like, well, shit, this is better than the electric one in my house.
Yeah.
So I'll just use it. But
and this place is so big; it's really like a condo. Like there's a whole separate dwelling up there.
I mean, in the past, it would have been called like a mansion, I think. Kind of.
It's big. It's big. How many rooms? Like 5, 6 bedrooms?
So let's see. There's 2 bedrooms on the second floor, 2 bedrooms on the third floor, and that's it.
Well, technically, this is now a bedroom. This is, I guess, it was an office space.
It was, yes. Now we got 1 bedroom on the bottom.
But you have multiple living rooms.
Right. Yeah, we've got a first floor living room and a second floor living room.
And I mean, I would even consider.
Yeah, that's
like an extension. Like this is like a second living room to me. Like growing up, having what I had, that would be a living room. That
is the living room. And my original plan was moving back in. And of course, I'm so lazy and I never have my shit together that this hasn't happened yet. But that room over there, like the extra living room or whatever, half of it my dad turned into his architectural drafting space.
Yeah.
And my original plan was the other half of it was going to be my recording studio and computer server station. Because I've got so many computers in here, too many to fit in here. Just because it's like I want to make a server for all my favorite games of all time, especially some of the ones that are dying. Like Natural Selection 2 is one of my favorite, maybe my favorite game of all time. And that's the one that I used to drink and make friends with online for years.
There you go.
And I noticed recently, like, that there's not really any East Coast US servers anymore, and the game is sort of on the decline. And it's like I've got a really nice fiber optic connection, so if I set up a server, it would really help out the game on the East Coast to keep it going. And so if I got that server room set,
it blows my mind. Like I feel like I'm tech savvy until I talk to you, and then you're just like, I'm building my own server, and I'm like, what?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I grew up, dude, addicted to computers from such a young age. That I know them more than.
I remember you building your own computers in high school.
Yeah.
And just being, and you're like, it's pretty much just like Legos, dude. And I'm like, yeah, but they have to go in the right order. And like this, they all have to work together, and you have to know the parts. And I'm just like, I've always been blown away by your aptitude for tech.
It was built into me, I guess. It was just
building it.
When I was a kid, the only reason I went to engineering school, which I regret now, because just because you're good at building things and you're good at understanding technical things, and just because you like machines and working on machines and understand them intuitively, doesn't mean you should study mechanical engineering. Totally different thing.
Yeah, they're a different breed, engineers. I mean, I work with civil engineers a lot, and
like I can't sit in front of computers and books all day. I would be a machinist, not an engineer, like, because I love metals, working class and woodworking classes.
Stuff.
Hands-on.
You're not a blueprint.
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I can do them, but like if I do too much, I just go insane and I hate it.
Yeah.
But I gotta take a quick little break.
Okay.
Outside there, out in the green yonder.
Out in the range. Home on the range. Yeah, we only got a few minutos left.
Oh, really?
Me. Yeah.
I'll start getting into the comedy things I have then.
Okay. Home on the range. Aww. son says he loves me and misses me. Oh yeah, I got a text 20 minutes ago, but I didn't know about it because we're recording, so...
I can't believe how fast this went by.
Silenced, but my sonjulum, my son says he loves me.
Oh.
And he normally is not, like, he's good with his sister. He's good at expressing love with her. But we're bros, and he, do talk. I don't know. I tell him I love him all the time. We give each other kisses on the cheeks, before school
beautiful.
and at the end of the night. But
That's
for him to randomly say, I love you, Dad, or have Mom text me, I love you, he's missing me.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You're raising him right.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy. He's a rascally little fella, but he's a good boy.
He's a rapscallion. So one time I was in a fireworks store, and
in New Hampshire, they have better ones over
I can't
there.
remember where it was, but I saw this one firework that said gender reveal firework, and I was like, how could a firework know the gender of your kid?
Ooh, what a way to take it. Oh man. Yeah, if you don't have kids or aren't in that world, you don't know. It's like blue for boy, pink for girl, and you choose one color or the other.
It's like, honey,
The
we're
whole
finally
thing
gonna
is
find
stupid, to be honest, but yeah, that's funny.
Dude.
How does a firework know? It dictates, it predicts the future.
It knows what gender you're... No, I thought it was... I don't...
Boy.
Oh my god, it's so funny. Okay. Let's see. So remember when we were being super relaxed walking like that African video guy?
Yeah. Was your dad creeped out?
No. So,
darn.
or I haven't asked
that
him,
was the
but-
point, right?
No, the boy's just to have fun, and if he saw it, then whatever, but...
Bonus content for weird stares from dad.
So I figured out, I've been learning about this, why it's hard, if you walk as relaxed as possible, your arms will hit your sides.
Yeah.
So you have to keep something certain amount of tenseness.
Yeah, and I mean for correct posture, you kind of have to engage muscles and stuff. Makes sense.
Okay.
It's not because we're overly stressed. It's just because normal walking takes a bit of muscle.
It does, yeah. Okay, so here. My mom, so, she kept asking about, where's your podcast? I want to listen to it. I'm like, Mom, it's not for you.
It's about you sometimes, but it's not for you.
You don't want to listen to it. You're not going to like it. It's not for you.
Not for you.
That's how they talk in New Jersey. Not for you. Sometimes
Not for you, darling.
For you. It's kind of like a Philly, New Jersey thing. But so her car kept burning oil, so I was like, "Why don't you take my car? It's all good. It's pretty sweet." And she's taking it to work, and I unknowingly had one of our podcasts in the USB for the stereo, and she's like, "I was forced to listen to one of your podcasts." And it's like, oh yeah, you couldn't turn down the volume or anything like that? Of course, yeah.
That was forced. There was a
she
bitch
was
in the
forced.
passenger seat slapping my hand every time I tried to touch the dial.
And remember the podcast where we talked
I don't
about...
know why I said little person and I
No,
didn't
it's
call
good.
them little person.
That
but I
relates
just-
to another funny topic
That was
I
the
have.
thought. No, you're gonna listen. Like a little leprechaun.
It's like, you can't turn this down with me here.
Nay, lass.
Nay, lassie. Lassie. So anyway, It happened to be the episode where we were talking about how our moms will just go on and on forever.
Oh, of course it did. I knew it. How did I know?
But we talked thought. I mean, we weren't talking about it in like an insulting way. We're talking about it in like a very logical way, where it's like they don't gauge your interest in the conversation, like most people do.
Was it a rude awakening for her?
So it was a bit. She came home. She was a little upset. She's like, I was forced to listen to your podcast.
Oh.
And she was like, and she was sort of like, said something like, apparently you don't like listening to me talk or something like that. And then for like half a day, she wasn't really talking to me. And, but you know what? She has improved in that regard that we're complaining about.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta be a little direct.
You do, and it's like, because the thing is like with comedy and with talking to people in general, normally the strategy is like, you sort of gauge someone's interest. You try to get them interested in your story, so if they like get excited about it, you keep going on your story. Whereas if they're like not reacting or just like saying like whatever, then you're like, okay, maybe I'll change the subject or just stop talking. Like that's kind of like how conversations work. But for them, they're just like, it's like you're their victim where they just don't stop talking. No matter, they don't care how much you care about what they're talking about. They care about talking.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, so, but no, it was hilarious, but it did help. Which is kind of funny.
Is she gonna stop me on the way out and be like, listen, I don't know what James is feeding you about me, but I'm not like that.
Okay, what's the next? Oh yeah, so speaking about your, I've got so many out. Okay, you don't remember, well, I'm trying to find the funniest ones. Okay, funny partners. You see two people in public, like a guy and a girl, and they're like together, and you don't know if it's like, and they look like an odd couple to some extent, and you're like, are they dating?
Is it platonic?
Is it a mother and a son? You're like, are they? There's no way they're together. Like those guys? It's like, I don't know. I've seen a few like that, and it's just like it's funny. And it's just like those guys. They're
really
they're together.
Somebody's settling.
It's like something's going on there. This and that. It's kind of funny sometimes. So when I drove to West Virginia for my last festival, once you get down to Virginia and West Virginia, the highway speed limit is 70, whereas here it's 65.
Right.
But everybody pretty much goes 75, 80 here. And down there, everybody goes 75, 80. Even though the speed limit.
That's like standard kind of driving, I guess, for interstate travel.
Well, that's what feels comfortable and safe for the capabilities of modern vehicles. And so anyway, the funny part is...
Texas, they have 80 miles per hour.
Yeah, and in the south.
That's a little sketchy. You're driving 5 lanes, and there's people doing $120 in the far left lane. That's just like the no man's land. That's like you have a death wish if you're over there.
I mean, I used to race cars, and I could definitely have some fun doing some fast driving down there for sure. Over 100 feels too dangerous to me. Like even 90s, like
pushing it. I feel like 80, 85 is extremely fast.
It is. It's hard to feel
comfortable doing 75. Sometimes I'll even catch myself only doing 70.
Yeah, 70, 75 feels comfortable to me in most vehicles, but if you're in like a German car that was made for the Autobahn, where 80 feels like 60 in other cars, then 80 feels very comfortable in those cars. It doesn't feel dangerous at all because they're so capable.
Driving 100 miles per hour, eating your Fino Schnitzel.
Germany. So another funny thing so I thought of this the other day. instead of live, laugh, love, it'd be funny if it was linger, languish, lament. Just have a sign up in your room.
That's good.
Here's another good one. How many ganders would you say you've taken in your life?
Oof. I don't know. So many things to gander upon. So many ganders taken.
It's funny because it's like we were coming up with. There's a lot of phrases in English that it's like the only phrase that you ever use that word in. I wrote all this on a different notes pad, but it's like no muss, no fuss.
Yeah.
No one ever else uses muss ever.
Right.
Besides that phrase.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's interesting. One trick pony words.
Yeah. Okay, here's a bad joke I heard at the festival. Two birds are sitting on a perch. One says to the other, "Does this smell fishy to you?"
Birch. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, while I was down there, I noticed that, like, with the southern accent, so you know how British people sound smart compared to our way of speaking?
Mm-hmm. And Southerners sound less
The
smart.
same thing happens when we go to the South. Now we're the smart sounding people to them. So I was checking in at a hotel, and this guy, before I talked much, he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And like a whole Southern thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like as soon as I started speaking, he got like quieter.
Ooh, was
Like,
he intimidated?
No, I think he was like self-conscious of
Oh.
his accent and like didn't want to sound like, whatever.
Yeah, I want the sweet tea. Sure, I'll take a cup of. Oh, would you like the sweet tea?
I kind of felt bad because like he started to like dial down the accent and like speak quieter. I was like, dude, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like it's totally cool. Don't worry
enjoy
about
it. Be you.
But it's kind of cool to like go down there and like feel like English. Like, King of the castle.
Not piggies up.
That was another thing I had out. So you don't remember Carla, the lunch lady, but because I sat with the cool kids because I had like this ego at the time where I couldn't not sit with the cool kid group, and so we would torment Carla, dude. Carla the lunch lady, dude. She had this like weathered appearance, and it was just like
I don't think I really made eye contact with the lunch ladies, and when I was in elementary school up in Colchester, I had to deal with a not very smart, a challenged lunch lady, and it kind of deterred me from making communications or direct contact. So that's probably why I don't remember Carla, because I had a very special young lady used to ask me, all she ever did was say what she was serving in a questioning voice. Kebbit? P? So, I was, when you're like 8, 9, 10, you're kind of weirded out by it. You don't have a full concept that, people are different or whatever.
Hold on to my straw.
It was kind of scary for me.
There's it also might have been before you were there, because I forgot that you came in high school, not junior high.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so she had this like weathered appearance and this attitude of kind of just like being sick of shit,
Mm-hmm.
and like just being direct and not caring what she said
Typical lunch lady demeanor.
to kids.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Typical lunch lady demeanor.
Dude, she was.
If you had to serve food to little shits
I
all
mean,
day long.
I honestly loved her, like just because of her attitude and demeanor. Like, she was just like awesome in her own way,
Yeah.
Like we kind of loved her, but we loved tormenting her. And I think like there was a SpongeBob episode where it was like Pinky Out or something, and that's where like the kids, like Chris Saunders and everybody, like got that.
Mm-hmm.
But like somehow it like we got into like she'd be coming over for whatever reason to our table, and some of the kids would be like, "Pinky out, Carla," and she'd be like, "What does that mean? You're gay?" Dude, it's one of the...
Carla, loosen the
Dude,
mouth.
it was one of the... Dude, she was... Dude, so funny. So fucking funny.
People have to understand too. We're like the generation that had Eminem, and like that was the beginning of like you can't. He was kind of bringing that '90s kids vibe to the forefront. Like it used to be commonplace to call somebody gay and not even really know what gay was. It was you were trash talking people.
Yes,
that
totally.
was just the word you used.
Yeah, it was the number one trash talk thing to guys.
Yeah.
Because actually, I don't want
gay, bro.
Yeah, I don't want to go too far into this because I want to keep on the comedy bits. But I actually been doing deep thinking about that, about why it is the number one insult to guys, or traditionally it was, and like it's sort of coming back now a little bit. That piece is starting to die down. But I think the reason is because traditionally, men had to be strong and tough to sort of survive and bring in the bacon, fight other men to get, in the office to get money.
Stereotypes.
Or to go into the woods and hunt animals.
Oh, well, you're talking like...
And get food.
Yeah.
This is like ancient, primal
okay.
thinking where like what makes a good man.
Yeah.
And so the biggest insult to a guy becoming like a good man in those terms is calling him gay because basically you're saying you're not
fragile.
Like... Exactly. It has nothing to do with like actual sexuality. It's just calling him a man fragile.
Yeah.
And that's the insult.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where it comes from. But yeah, no, Carla, dude, is so fucking funny. And so the whole pinky out thing also, I don't want to go too far into this because we don't have much time left, but I'm a big tea guy. I love tea. I've been drinking it for years. And when you're drinking it,
you have to small handles.
It's not just that. I mean, you can rest your pinky on the drink under the handle.
Doesn't feel comfortable.
It'll burn it.
Yeah.
And so you have to put your pinky out to not burn it on the cup. And that's why...
Pinky up.
That's where the fancy...
It's not just fancy.
Yeah.
The way it is. But
it's required for drinking certain hot drinks, really.
A byproduct of tea. Which
It is
a common beverage in...
Fancy England.
Fancy England.
So that's where the association came from.
Connections being made.
Yeah. Okay, so here's an...
What we got? Time check. Oh, Daddy's running late.
Okay, last one.
Last one.
So I went into the co-op today, and they had this big sign of like all the people they accept. Must have been like 7 or 8.
Wait, what? They don't accept people?
This is what it's like. PC has gotten so out of control, and thank God it's coming back now. But like, they had a list of like 7 or 8. It's like everybody's accepted. White people, black people, gay people, on and on and on and on. Like everyone's accepted. And I was like, wouldn't it be funny to have it would be funny to have a sign of like people that weren't accepted, like no albino Scottish dwarfs allowed. Like
no lepers.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious, I think.
The original is funny to me too because you're saying we're all inclusive, but then we're labeling and singling you out right below where we're saying everybody. Why do you need to specify the people that are in everybody?
I was going to take a picture, but a girl will walk by and open the doors again. I was getting out of there. But it was hilarious.
That's wild.
It was funny. Alright, man, the time flew fucking by, dude.
It did. We haven't talked face to face in around about 2 months. Lots of stuff.
Yeah, boy.
Car accidents, vacations, festivals.
Oh, yeah.
Life.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, bud.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, never done, bud.
The boys are back in town.
Don't you know?